What is up, YouTube? So I've got another Dragma profile for you. Rise of the Duelist is coming out very soon. I think it's in 2 weeks or so. And guys, Dragma is probably one of the best archetypes coming out of that set. You've definitely got to go and pick it up. So let's get straight into my new Dragma deck profile. I'm telling you for sure now, this is going to be a really good contender. It can deal with the decks like Adamantipator and Eldritch quite well because there's just a lot of grind game, a lot of versatility, a lot of removal in the deck. And what I have done is mixed Dragma with Mekk-Knights to really kind of give it a bit of extra spice. So we're going to first talk about my Dragma cards and I'll move on to the Mekk-Knights. So I'm playing 3 Ecclesia, the Dragma Saint. Ecclesia is a really good card. She's going to search any of your other Dragma cards and she can special summon herself. However, what you have to remember is when you special summon a Dragma monster, it does lock you out of the extra deck for the rest of the turn. Keep that in mind. Moving on, we play 2 Maximus. Maximus is another really good Dragma card. He just does a lot for the archetype. He allows you to tutor 2 cards from your extra deck to your graveyard. As you can see, I'm playing some Shadows in there as well, and I'm playing Elder Entity and Tis. So between those two, it's very easy to kind of get a free pop, get a free draw off that Maximus, which is nice. You can, what you're meant to do is obviously use the Albus in their archetype, and that card is great. However, I don't really like it because it's a bit slow. I want my advantage to come now. I don't want to wait until the end phase and then wait till next turn for my advantage, which is why I prefer to just not bother with Albus, not bother with all of that kind of nonsense, just go straight to kind of Shadows and the Elder Entities and such. Then another card we're playing is Hashashi. I can't even pronounce that one now. It's meant to be like an assassin. I know that that's like the word assassin comes from. But anyway, yeah, we're going to be playing this assassin dude in the Dragma as well. I don't think he's out actually in Rise of the Duelist. I'm not sure. I think he comes out in the set afterwards, but he is really nice simply because if he turns Disciple of the Nadir into an instant 2000 beats the beater. Basically, where if a fusion synchro exercise your link monster sent to the graveyard, you can special summon this from the hand. Similar to multi-faker and cards like that, because your opponent can't verify what is in your hand. The mechanic just works that when he's added to your hand, you can assume that your opponent doesn't know whether it was in your hand or wasn't in your hand, so it just gets special summoned anyway. On resolution of that other card being sent, which is really nice. And then also he adds any Dragma card from your graveyard back to your hand, which is nice. He allows you to recycle things like your Dragma encounters and your field spell. I wouldn't actually play the field spell if it wasn't for him, because the field spell is nice, but it's a bit slow. But what this allows me to do is just play 1 copy of the field spell so that I can keep recycling if I do need it. Then moving on, we play 1 Fleur de Lis. Fleur de Lis is an amazing card. It's your walking negate, and again, as a result of this card, you can keep recycling her as well. So it's nice that you can keep getting that negate back. You can just do a lot with the card. It's great. This deck has so much recyclability. Then let's move on to the Mekk-Knight package. So I'm going to be playing 3 Purple Nightfall, 2 Blue Sky, 1 Indigo, 3 Gearsu, 1 Red. Now with red, that can be red or yellow. I just happen to have put red here, but you can play Yellow Star instead. But yeah, that is my Mekk-Knight package. I'm also playing 1 World Legacy World Armor, who is kind of part of that package, even though he's not a Mekk-Knight monster. Now Mekk-Knights go so well with Dragma because you like creating columns in this deck, because you're going to want to go into your extra deck anyway, because your Dragmas really want you to go into it, which is why I actually play things like Almirage and such, so that I can just normal summon, get a monster on field, and then I have an extra monster to get my Dragmas live. And you play traps as well, which is great. But then not only that, but Mekk-Knights provide this continuous advantage game. It's a similar idea to Mekk-Knight Invoked, where you're continually generating advantage, and it's just very hard for your opponent to keep up with that grind game. And you also got a lot of utility and versatility. So there's 2 World Legacy cards that I do play. I play 1 World Legacy Succession, 1 World Legacy Secret. Secret obviously is great with the Indigo Eclipse doing the whole slide to the left and right thing. It's great to just kind of negate your opponent, stop them from doing much. And then Succession is nice. Obviously it's just a searchable monster reborn and very easy to get to. So what's really good about this as well is Orcus Gearsu is 1 card to get into, I think, a Link 3 or Link 4, just as a result of kind of the new world Lib the World Key Blade Master, which is really good. By the way, if I haven't said already, this is a going second deck. This format, one of the things that we found so far is that it's very hard to go second against a lot of these new decks. However, I would definitely say that Dragma is probably going to be one of the archetypes coming out of Rise of Duelist that can definitely go blind second, especially when you pair it with something as powerful as Mekk-Knights, and as you can see, as you pair it with something as powerful as Shadows as well. But yeah, so that's why I'm going to be playing that kind of big Mekk-Knight package in my deck, just to kind of, so the combo, in case you don't know, is you normal summon Orcus Gearsu, he sends armor, Orcus Gearsu is going to make a token. Now you have 2 routes from here. If you already know that you have the materials to do other things, you might want to go Galatea Dingy, and that's going to allow you to just get a free send. If you know you don't, then you're going to go into Lib the World Key Blade Master, add whichever World Legacy card you want, though you're probably going to add Succession if you did draw it already. Special Summon World Armor. World Armor is going to search the other one that you didn't add, which is going to be Secrets, and then you link off again, and then that's also going to give you a bounce because of Lib, the World Key Blade Master. Sometimes I actually will end my turn with a Lib and a Masquerader, obviously, just so that on my opponent's turn, I can link off into something like a Unicorn, and my opponent loses 2 cards from that. There's no way they're playing after having that happen to them. But yeah, so moving on from that's the Mekk-Knight package. And then to finish off, I have a Shadow engine, a very small Shadow engine, just 3 Shadow Fusion, 1 Dragon, 1 Beast, and then 3 Shadow monsters in the extra deck. Now again, Dragma is really good with Shadows, because what they really want to do is just put extra deck cards on the field or in the graveyard for free. So Shadow Fusion is great. You can resolve Shadow Fusion directly, and that will give you a draw or a pop if you want, and you can bring out a window or you can bring out a construct. Or instead, the second alternative is you're using Disciple of the Nadir. You can simply send Apkaloni to the graveyard, and that will either allow you to search Shadow Fusion or search a Beast or Dragon and then discard it off to get their effects, which is really good. So Shadows works really nicely with the Dragma archetype. Obviously, there's a whole bunch of light monsters in this deck, so it's very easy to bring out that construct if you want. But obviously, that's not your objective. I rarely bring out construct when I'm playing this. That's just nice as an extra bit of removal. Most of the time, I'm going to be going for the window, because the window lock is going to be very nice alongside your Dragmas. Then moving on from that, we do play, in sort of terms of the Dragma spells and traps, we play 1 Dogmatic Nation Dragma, obviously a very good card, and because it's recyclable now, definitely it's going to be good as a one-off, and 2 Dragma Encounter. It's just nice as a little bit of a reborn. It allows you to reborn Dragma cards or add Dragma cards from your graveyard to your hand, which is going to be really good. So yeah, that's a nice package. And then a bunch of hand traps, so 3 Ash, 3 Veiler, 3 Imperm. Just standard hand traps. Again, these 9 slots, in my opinion, can really go to anything. You don't have to play these cards. I mean, Nibiru is another really good one you can play. Phantasme is going to be great. Lancia is not too bad this format now. Like, there's a lot of different hand traps you can play, but these just happen to be the 3 that I would be going with. Now let's move into my extra deck. So start off, I'm going to be playing Samurai Amorage. Now what you have to remember is Dragma wants you to have extra deck monsters on the field and in the graveyard. That's what they need, and so as a result, that's why I play things like Almirage, because what I can do is normal, if I don't draw a Gearsu, then I'm almost certainly going to draw one of my hand traps, and then I can just normal summon the hand trap, make an Almirage, and now all my Dragma cards are live. I can special summon my Ecclesia for free and all of that nonsense, and then start doing my plays. Moving on from that, I play 1 Link Spider. Link Spider is primarily to go with Gearsu. Gearsu will create a token. Link Spider allows me to turn that token into an effect monster and then make a Galatea. Now I play Galatea and Dingesu. In my opinion, if you're playing Orcus Gearsu and you have the space in your extra deck, this is a better package than using Nightmare Phoenix, simply because you don't need to discard, because Gearsu generates all the advantage himself, and it's a non-targeted setting with Dingesu. And Dingesu is a nice big body anyway. Dingesu is a pretty big body and he protects your entire board. So I think this is actually a better package than Nightmare Phoenix just to play Gearsu. I think even if you're not playing sort of a Mekk-Knight deck, if you're a deck that doesn't need a normal something, you just want a bit of extra removal, I think a Gearsu is good, because if your opponent sees a Gearsu, playing this Gearsu engine is great, because if your opponent sees a Gearsu and they don't negate that normal summon, you can generate so much advantage off that in so many different ways. So yeah, obviously you would normal summon Gearsu, then you'd use this effect to generate a token on both sides of the field, turn the token to Link Spider, Link into Galatea, Galatea into Dingesu, Dingesu send a card. You just sent a card without targeting. Your opponent has to negate that, which is going to be great. Moving on from that, we have 1 Mekk-Knight of the Morning Star. We like that card, obviously. People don't read it, so it's amazing. Then we have 1 Lib, the World Key Blade Master, as I've explained, another really good card for the archetype. It will search your World Legacy cards. 1 Unicorn. This is going to be the main target for Masquerader. It's just hard to beat this as a target for Masquerader. Yeah, there's really not much else to say. Mekk-Knight Spectrum Supreme. I like this card as utility. However, in my opinion, Blackluster Soldier is objectively a better card to play. It just does more, has more utility. But the reason why I've put this in my deck instead is just because of cost. There are quite a few expensive cards in this deck, and so I wanted to kind of bring the cost down, not just shove all the most expensive cards in the world in the deck. Having said that, I can't lie. If you're playing Dragma, from the pull ratios that we've seen on Reddit so far, you're going to be dropping a lot of money, probably in the 200s or 300s, because there's going to be a lot of expensive cards in the Dragma archetype. Unfortunately, a lot of them seem to be short printed. But anyway, yeah, Mekk-Knight Spectrum Supreme. So a great card, but Blackluster Soldier is an objectively better card. I'm going to pretty pull that up for anyone who's not aware of what card I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the original Blackluster, I'm talking about the Link one, this one, Soldier of Chaos. So he is objectively better. However, in my deck, I have put Spectrum Supreme just because it's cheaper. Moving on, Access Code Talker again. Access Code Talker is a great card, but more often than not, I would say if you haven't got the money, just move on to Broadsword. It will do a similar job. It's really about pushing for game, clearing the board and pushing for game. He's also very easy to bring out in this because you link climb so well. And Avramax is amazing. I really like playing Avramax in actual Mekk-Knight decks because I feel like it's just such a good card, and when you deny your opponent the ability to attack things like your Indigo, and then you have an Avramax as well, you just put so much extra strength in that Mekk-Knight strategy, because now you can use Indigo and Secrets to keep negating things, and your opponent can't just beat over your Indigo or whatever other Mekk-Knights you have because you've got an Avramax on the field. Having said that, if Avramax is on the field, the game's probably ending soon. Moving on from that, then we've got our 4 fusions, obviously, which I have discussed. There's nothing much extra to say about that. And then going into the extra deck, we have 3 Evenly, 3 Dark Ruler, 3 Lightning Storm, 3 Lancia, 3 Nibiru. It's really just about big blowouts. This deck generates so much advantage. It has an insane ground game. So your objective all the time is going to be blow out your opponent and win with that incremental advantage. Because if you resolve something like an Evenly or Lightning Storm, and then you start looping your purple Nightfalls, you start looping your Dragma cards, you're getting free draws off your Shadow Fusion, your opponent is not going to be able to keep up. The card advantage swings are going to be too much for them. So I really like these big blowout cards. That's why, in my opinion, these are really good for games 2 and 3. Once you know what your opponent is doing, you're going to siding these, you're going to get rid of these hand traps. Don't waste your time negating random needle fibers and stuff. No, just blow out their board completely, and then you're going to be activating your purple Nightfall, generating a +1 each turn, activating your Cliche and your blah 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 Hashashin. I feel like I'm gonna say this right one day, but whatever. Activate that, be generating more +1s per turn, and your opponent just won't be able to deal with it. But guys, that is my Dragma Mekk-Knight Shadow profile. Guys, this deck is insane. I've got a couple of VODs that I will be putting up later today, fingers crossed, just showing you how amazing this deck is. But look, if you want to see more profiles, don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, let me know what else you want me to do, and I'll make sure to be putting that up for you. And subscribe to my channel. I've got plenty more deck profiles coming up for you guys soon. Talk to you all later. Peace.